Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Desert Fox, coming at you with another Wargame Red Dragon, ash&shadows deck build and playthrough. Yes, sirree, Bob. Thank you guys for all the love and support you guys have been giving. I really appreciate it. And let's see what we can get into. So we're going to create a new deck here. We probably will do somebody cool. Let's see what we got here on the lineup. My plan is to we're gonna run the Blue Dragons because, in my opinion, Blue Draggy boys, Drag boys, nice. So what we're gonna do is, in my opinion, this is probably one of the best decks in the game, or deck possible builds in the game, because they got some amazing tanks. Big, beefy tanks, beefy boys, beefy toys for beefy boys, and some of the best infantry fighting vehicles in the game. Here they are. We got a huge array of K-21s, 40 millimeter with a 4 fire and forget, heat 25 with a 75% accuracy. This is for the South Koreans, and then for the Japanese, they have something very similar, which is 40 millimeter. Some of the same specs. Heat, top attack, fire and forget at 13. So basically the equivalent, probably more damage with the top attack because the armor is lighter for the other units. So just something to keep in mind. So for that and that point alone, these guys absolutely crush it. They also have your long range component of the Patriot and your ability to another kind of rendition of that here. It's not really the Patriot, but it is got amazing range. See, it's 9450 for that Patriot, and then for this, it is 8575, and you get 6 of them. Where the Patriot, you only get 4, right, for the accuracy and the level. So it's pretty cool. All in all, I think like this deck, it's gonna be a really fun deck build and playthrough. Also, some other guys to highlight here. KU1 Chiron, right? This, look at the missiles, 20, 30, 3,500 meters, 27 AP. Absolutely amazing. It looks in the chopper has 6 of those missiles. You also get a chopper Apache. Now, things to keep in mind when you're looking at this, right? The Apaches altogether, they have medium rank, they have medium optics, and they also have armor. So they can kind of take a beating when you think of it. The South Koreans have them, and the Japanese have them. So you can have kind of a complement. This is like a special Apache here. It's got able to dogfight, so that's going to be pretty cool too. And speaking of dogfighters, this guy, jack of all trade, master of a few. It can hit ground, helicopters, and aircraft, right, with its missile, and it's got 6 of them. So that's a pretty good deal, and you can take 8 of them hardened if you need to with 2 cards. All right, we're gonna dive right in here. So we got the highlights knocked out of the way. Obviously, we're gonna take a fob. We're gonna go with the Japanese. Sorry, South Koreans. They showed up first. And we will also take the. We'll take these. 1700 seems pretty cool. Only 12. If anyone's seen any of my playthroughs, I pretty much take the gas trucks to effectively just keep the tanks moving. It's not really to give them a whole bunch of supplies. It's to keep the tanks moving. And I'll have maybe some supply vehicles that are larger if they need to be called up for ammunition and stuff like that. So there's that. We have that portion. I do like to take a wheeled vehicle and a helicopter vehicle for support. I'd like to take something with some armor. That'd be nice. But this Humvee is a little lax in the armor department, so we will run with him. He's got a little armor. He's very fast on and off road. We got 5 of them, so we'll run that. And then we'll do 7 helos, which actually are cheaper. No armor though, so gotta micro them a little bit, but they can get the job done. So that takes care of that. We'll go to the tanks because that's the core of any deck. Now, when it comes to tanks, I will admit, right? People will say, "Oh, well, you're only taking the absolute best tanks." Yes, but also the force multiplier with a lot of the tanks I grab is because the ability to hit them at range. So for some of my other deck builds, I will take units that have the longest range over anything else. Not missiles, but shells. Because if you can get fast enough close the range while the missiles are inbound, you can hit the target and maybe stun it. That is a big deal. So we've got this K2 Pip Kistan tank, and if you look, it's got 6 rounds at 26-25. That is a game changer at and its top attack and its 13th. I think that's amazing, and it comes out as a round. I don't really know how that round works, but it works. So more power to it. It's like a random um, mortar gun. I don't know. We'll look it up, right? But the ability to be able to do that is top tier. Also, we will, for the force multiplier aspect of things, we could do this guy in large quantities. You get 2 of them, but I'm really more concerned about the gun being shooting at 12 rounds per minute. That is an ungodly amount of fire at that rate. This guy has it too, but he is 140. When you can get almost the same thing with his cheaper guy and take a whole bunch of them. So yeah, I think we're gonna bypass. We already have like a heavy tank, which is probably the most expensive tank that I've seen, and its ability. But hey, more power to him. I won't. If I have this, I'm probably not gonna take this. I'm probably not gonna take this. If you notice, they're good tanks, but 10 rounds a minute, and great armor and all this other good jazz. Right when we could just take a slew of these at 12 rounds a minute. So we're gonna probably do that. We'll take 2 groups, and then the cheapo, we will take this guy. And why would I take this guy? Because his ability to wreck and support infantry. You notice that the 40mm rounds do absolute wonders against infantry, so you don't have to use a whole shell on it, and that's really what we're worried about. And also, it's got a good gun. It's got great speed, medium optics, size is small, or medium, excuse me. And, it's all around a 36-point tank, so it's cheap. And you only get 1 card of it, so I might as well take them hard on, giving you 34 very nice tanks. That is your tank component, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to keep it simple, stupid. But if you didn't want to take this very expensive K2, might I recommend taking this guy. Again, the force multiplier of the 12 rounds per minute is like, for 24 AP power, is nasty. But I do like the range, and they shoot at 10 rounds per minute for both the Kistan and the smoothbore. So there you go. Recon. We were going to hit Recon up. I like to take track and wheeled Recon as well as helicopter Recon. That's kind of how I like to build these balanced decks, and you'll see how it plays out. So we'll take 2 hardened ninjas. Actually, we'll take the non-hardened because I'm really only using it for eyeballs, and they got exceptional eyeballs and great stealth. I honestly believe that for the price in any deck, this is worth it because the ability to skirmish and stay hidden as well as have exceptional vision. You really can't beat it. If you can see it, you can kill it, and that's really what we want. We've got some other items in here for wheeled. So we got 1 wheeled here. This one's got a autocannon and a frag, which is pretty cool. He's just got autocannon, and he pretty much just matches him, but he's got the grenade launcher. That could be a big deal because if he's hiding in the woods and somebody's out there looking at him. If they don't have an ATGM, this guy can pretty much get at them. So, if their infantry is like a Strela or a Spetsnaz, was really the bane of my existence, these guys will probably be the best fit because they got an autocannon and they got the grenade launcher. So good suppression. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's worth it. This guy, 70, keep up with the tanks, but the gun leaves something to be desired. It is what it is. Your beggars can't be choosers. So we're going to take these in 6. Remember, we only really want them for their eyeballs, so we're not going to make a big deal about that. Support. Now this is so crucial because I don't know if some people have seen in my other gameplays. You can fight in advance with your anti-air falling right behind the tanks and it be succinct. You don't really have to break. Your tanks can take a hit, right? They can take a missile hit or whatever. But your ability to keep the choppers from harassing them constantly is going to be up to you by taking the adequate AA. So for that nuance, we will take something that hopefully can keep up with the tanks. I won't take this gun tank, even though I would prefer to take the gun tank. Why? 55 kilometers per hour. Look at that. Well, if I can select it. 55 kilometers per hour is unacceptable for tanks that roll consistently at speeds at 80, 70, and 70. It's just not going to work. So what we will do is he goes at 60, he goes at 60, he goes at 70, but his range is not there. Don't like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a mixed bag of this and this. We will take, well, actually we'll do the maximum that we can take. Yeah, we'll do the maximum because it's about numbers here. And we'll take 7 of these hardened, right? So we'll do 2 tracked, and for a rolling component, if we do have a rolling component, we'll take 7 hardened, and we will, of course, we love Blitzkrieg. What do they have in the range of MLRS, right? You could do artillery. I would not recommend that because, yes, if you spot the enemy command vehicle, this sniper cannon is absolute a godsend for that. You also have this like short barrel paladin that could be very good for that as well. Low range though. And then there's also other short barrel paladin right here. Yeah, it could be pretty good. All those are actually really good. This and this is probably your best choice. This is like if you have really great recon, which we do, and you want to snipe, right? But I'd rather just drop a bomb. Got a Patriot here. So we were gonna, because of the range, I am gonna throw 2 trained Patriots in there, and we already have our rolling component. So it's a toss up between him, right? If I just pin him there, and let's say him. Why is it a toss up? Because they both go at great off road speed, but the only difference is the this guy. The Humvee with basically the Stingers can fire on the move, and that's a big deal when you are not having to micro your guys. That can be the difference between a rush actually making it to its position, being spotted by a chopper, or not, because you can't shoot at them because you didn't pay attention. So I will pay the extra 5 points to be able to fire a little shorter range, but to shoot on the move, and that's really kind of and at 75% accuracy too. So take that in mind. So that's there. MLRS. I'm probably gonna just take this because you got a lot of rockets. You get a whole bunch of guys here. You can almost get 6 or 4 hardened. I like numbers. We're gonna go with 6. It's just rockets anyway. It's not like it's you can corrective shot that. So just spray and pray. Now, what I really love about them is their infantry. Probably some of the best regular infantry in the game for 2 reasons. We'll start with the Japanese infantry tracked. We'll do that. They do have like these basic Ashigaru units. They have these man pads, right? But they're like combat man pads. They are elite, but they're basically designed to shoot at aircraft. Really good on them, right? It's kind of like an SAS, but the SAS have a AT rocket. Also, like these are regular infantry, but they have 16 of these 2450 meter rockets, which is good at 21 AP. It's pretty good. They are guided though, so that's something to keep in mind. You're going to outrange their enemy tanks, and you can take them in a tracked vehicle or a Humvee. So that's good, or a chopper, right? This is an elite. If this is elite as well, but I have a problem with their range on their rockets. Basically, they're gonna be using the 4s, but they're not gonna be able to compete against like Spetsnaz or some of the other packed units. So just keep that in mind. Now these guys might, but again, they're not gonna lay down the suppression with the gun at range. So already they're gonna have to get in close, use their flash, and they only got 6. So any kind of flying rock will hit and take one of them out because they're regular. You got some shock troops here, pretty good unit. They do come in these and a Humvee and a glory truck here, very nice. You get them in a Scorpion and basically a amphibious carrier. It is slow as mug though, 65 kilometers off road, not bad, but in the water it's 33. So if you really think it's just basically for crossing rivers, dude. But this is what they really shine, right? The South Koreans here, they have these commando units, which I mean, look at the missile, the heat fire frigate, and the fact that they are 25 at range at 2,800 meters is amazing. They are shock troops, and they come in as K-21, which also is amazing. So we're going to take some of those. Could be a game changer there. We're going to take them hardened. And I think the Japanese have something very similar. Yeah, these guys. They are shock troops. And they have this. So these are pretty good shock troops. 22 piercing on the missile. In close range, decent machine gun, as well as rifle, which is very nice. And they are shock as well. So going hand in hand with these guys, you're going to have a shock force that can shoot at range, and when the enemy gets in close, shoot in close. Okay, so we're also going to take 10 of those at veteran. I like them to hit what they shoot, so I like to take them at veteran. And also to complement them. This is why I think the Japanese have the best infantry, regular infantry, are these guys, and they are not in the limited deck. So you can get this unit right here and get it hardened, but they get these commando mortars. So while these two guys are going and taking the brunt of the enemy's fire, these guys are actually lagging behind them at 20 kilometers per hour with the commando mortars, have great range. So just keep that in mind. It's like a very well coordinated system, and they all come in these tracked vehicles that are amazing, right? So that's your track component. It does not have an AA capability. Like, you could go up, I think it's going to be a little bit overkill. Like, if you wanted to take a shock troop or elite with these guys, that could work. But I would prefer to take some rolling units to get in and kind of mix it up with the enemy. But because you're so far extended, you might get helicopter rush, and you might need that AA there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these guys, and we're gonna take 10 veteran. I don't plan to use a lot of them, but they are pretty good. With the rocket, they can do some damage. With that 1,400 meter rocket, especially in the forest. These guys are amazing in the forest. They're good shock, and they go at 30 kilometers per hour, which most shock units don't, but they do. So they're like jungle warriors, these guys. And to complement them, it's going to be... do I want to take him Manpad, or do I want to take him Manpad? Because we might be able to take the Elite Force Manpad. They're going for the missile, not the commandos. We'll take these guys only because, you know, hopefully that your guys can get support from somewhere else if it comes down to it, right? And they have to go wheeled because this is the wheeled component. That's tracked, right? This is the wheeled, so cool. Oh, look at that. That Scorpion's got a grenade launcher and active protective system. So we're going to take, he's got 10. We're going to take 7 veteran, right? Because his job is AA. So he should be able to hit what he shoots at. Oh, and we're also going to take, since we got another infantry slot, we'll take a wheeled long range guy. We'll do that. I think that's only fair. Because the Chin Mat, we might be able to take some of him. Yeah, we'll do 7 hardened, right? This wheel component can really, you know, mix it up with very long range, and then mid tier, and then you've got AA, We might showcase a map where they can do that. But these guys, I don't have to worry about taking AA with them because they're really supposed to go with the tanks. They're an infantry component for the tanks, so the tanks AA will support them, ideally. Now, as battle develops differently, different stuff happens. Speaking of range, I will take these to kind of accompany them unless they have a wheeled gun one. Let's see, they have a wheeled gun, like an actual gun. Doesn't look like it. They have this, but they don't have a wheeled gun. This is a track gun, right? So for the vehicle, I'm gonna take the maneuverability vehicle. It's not gonna take a lot. It's basically gonna help support getting the infantry in the buildings and helping them with that. It's like their escort, so to speak. And then for the range, it shoots 12, 3,500. That is massive, right? We will take 2 hardened. That's all we get. That's all we get, folks. 2 hardened. That should be enough to do what we need to do. I do like the range on these, but I know we're going to need some points elsewhere. So what we'll do is we'll put them in the deck. We'll put 4 hardened. That should be good enough. And we definitely want to be able to duke it out with the enemy. I don't really care about rockets. They don't really phase me. But to be able to shoot down a chopper with your chopper is cool. And speaking of that, we will take these hardened. And we will take 2 of these. All right. Aircraft. Now, we haven't talked much about their aircraft yet, so let's get into it. Their aircraft is good, but I don't see a lot of carpet bombing ability. They got these 30 kilogram. I don't see a lot of things that deal with tanks. Like this is clearly a copper bomber. 25. You know, it's gonna wreck infantry in the building, but it's not like a cluster bomb kind of deal. So your tanks, they're gonna be an issue. So you can launch a whole bunch of Peace Ryans at them, like these guys. Like 4, but they have 4 missiles. So you just gotta be cognizant of if you got heavy tanks, these guys might be either cheap enough to get in there and mix it up, but it's just something to keep in mind if you have to. My recommendation is stay with the ground because they have some pretty good ground units, and use your super suppression guys to kind of get the job done. This guy's a good interceptor, and he's got bombs. ECM's horrible though, so if you call him in, he's getting shot down. Block 2 though, look at that. So as an air interdictor and we'll take him because for 120, that's pretty good. Being able to get at seed, 50% ECM. I like to take the thing with the highest ECM because the enemy's ability to miss is valuable, very, very valuable. We might take him too. F-35, maybe not. Let's see, this guy, he's like dedicated seed as well. So he's like the Japanese version. Let's compare between the two. Yeah, you see they're about the same speed, same strength, same ECM. Stealth for the Japanese one is very good, and its turning radius is better. So what gives? We are looking at the ground. The ground missile is, the Japanese one looks exceptionally better, and it's cheaper. I don't understand why. Oh, because its ability to shoot at aircraft as well. So you can't use them as a air superiority fighter and a seed aircraft. Decisions. We'll keep what we got because we have a seed here, and hopefully we're not done with them. Also, this is a multi-roles fighter that can kind of fight aircraft and ground targets. So the South Koreans like to mix it up with air and ground. Decent range though, 45, 50. So it's not gonna have the super long punching range, 43, but it is better than the Peace Ryan. So we might actually take some of those just to see what happens. We'll take a veteran, and we'll take some Peace Ryans because we gotta be able to deal with the enemy's tanks at range, if we need to. And with 4, that's a large volume that we can kind of accomplish that mission. For dealing with infantry and just kind of blunting the enemy's assault, these probably could work. I like to just have something that blunts the enemy. This I kind of want to call this in, but it's got two 1,000 pounders and four top attack, but it's 155 points. That is a monster for popping, unless the tanks are just absolutely clumped, and I don't believe they will be. It's probably not your best bet. I want to call in something cheap that we can buy a lot of. So there it is. We might take it with us since we do have points, because it's there, but it's so expensive, man. It's crazy. So we still have some points. We actually have a lot of points. So what we'll do is we'll double down on range, right? We'll actually get two more hardened. For the recon portion, can you never have enough recon? The good infantry recon is actually not bad. I like to have something that has some range, like a missile on it. These stingers might be. It's very good though. Definitely attract some choppers if you get them in the forest and you can pop them. These could be very valuable for. So you get two for one here. What else you got? Yep, 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 yep. Okay, so it might be we're taking him in the Blackhawk. It's always good to have some good elite recon units to mix it up with the enemy. Can't get any more tanks, can't get any support, can't get any more infantry. Let's see, do we want to mix it up with the... Yeah, we'll take it for shizzles. I don't mind, mixing it up with that. Take four of those guys, because if we have a map that we go on an assault for, then it could be interesting to take them with the tanks. We'll probably want to do more recon. Any better vehicles? What is this? Oh, quad gun? Nice. Mortar unit. I really don't do mortars, guys, because the micro involved and the enemies moving so much. So these mortar carriers, if that's your play style, they're actually not bad to keep harassing enemies. So for those campers, if he sits, he dies. It's like one of those things. If you sit, you're gonna get bombed. So don't sit. But honestly, I'm sitting here and I'm like, I might have to take the mortars. Vehicle, yeah, we'll do the fun mortars. We probably won't call them in, but it's just good to have, right? Boom. So we got this amazing force here. There you have it. Great infantry, great rolling infantry, and their ability to get massive range and support and be able to support there. I think the rolling component is going to be pretty interesting if we can do some stuff with these guys. It's going to be pretty nice. Also, the tank component should be good. The Air Force, I think, is going to leave something to be desired. So, Blue Drag Boys, there they are. We are going to launch a map. I will do a map that we've done before. Probably just do the standard, like Tough Jungle. I just kind of want to showcase their ability. And the Drag Boys, where are you at? With your Blue Drag Boys. There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We're going to start this bad boy off. Wish me luck. Outstanding, ladies and gentlemen. All right, here we are. We are on the field of battle. We've got our chopper. Get in the chopper. I am a huge fan of Blitzkrieg, so the ability to combine the artillery, the air, and ground units is going to be crucial. We'll take one of you, and we'll take the bomber to kind of stun the enemy. We will also take a very healthy, strong, but not very too numerous tank component. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Right, boom, boom. The rate of fire, I'm hoping it will carry the day. For us, we'll take their heavy, and we'll take their Patriot, right, to long range support, medium range support. Good stuff. And then the infantry, of course. We'll do some commandos. 1, 2. Well, actually, we'll do one of each, right? So 1, 2. And 1, 2. Kind of supporting each other. Actually, I will take another one of you, please. Cool. So the infantry is there. We will try to roll our infantry here and launch an attack into hotel. Well, actually, we'll do this, right? We will have our tanks come up here and take hotel. We will also have a rolling component take up positions in India and try to swing at Juliet. So that's what the plan is. We're gonna take some of you and you, and we will take 2 of you. Boom, boom. Kind of have them hanging back there so we can micro them. And you, boom, boom. So they'll be the first one in. For the vehicles, take up a couple of you. Boom. Moving over element. There you go. And then support will take some Sammy boys. So they're going to be like the escort in for the infantry, right? And then for the other infantry going the other way, we will do more you than that. We'll do this to the rest of you. And we got to take you. Boom, boom. Cool. And they will, of course, also have support. Good to go. But they will also have the, because they're going to be out there on the wings there by themselves. They'll take him. And we'll take these guys. And detail. So, boom. There it is. We also will have our recon. We'll take 2 of them. So we got a full complement of reconnaissance. Tanks. Supported by infantry, and we have a lot of infantry. The only thing we didn't take is another command vehicle, so we'll take the big boy. Bump it. Let's go. Let's go big or go bye bye. All right, we are off, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna get these guys rolling first to their destination. We're gonna get these guys rolling to their destination with a waypoint out here to Juliet. We will get the ninjas moving because we need to see what we can shoot at. And we'll go here and tell them to go there. I will probably this 45 points. That's the only issue. We need a few more points, but we'll put this recon and we'll send him out to Gulf to kind of check our wing if there's anything to go to our wing. All right, we don't want anything to flank us, so he's just gonna be a recon to let us know if the enemy is coming around at speed, so we can send our fast moving chopper force to kill him. But that's what that's how we're gonna play that. So we're gonna start giving good orders to our well organized force here. Gonna get them to go that way, and you guys, and you guys. So cool. So they're in like a tank kind of forward formation. That's kind of what I told them to do. We do see the enemy, so we're gonna back off a little bit, and they do have a very large component of infantry here, so they're gonna beat us to that punch, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. So hopefully Blitzkrieg can win the day for this light armored assault. We will go ahead and launch missiles there. We will have our guys come and support there, and you guys will check the wings there. So while they're moving in, we are going to launch an aircraft and prepare to bomb this position because we do believe in Blitzkrieg. I'm going to bomb right down that Strela. Have our maneuver combat come in and our Scorpions line it up. We're going to tell them to kind of go to the wings. Okay. He bombs our way. Very nice. No hit, but we are blitzkrieging here, so we're trying to stun the enemy. We get the command vehicle. There we go. They do have support of the tanks to kind of cover their wings, maybe cut it off the enemy position. We're gonna have these guys go to the wings. So boom. The organization is horrible, boys, because we're gonna take a lot of casualties if we can't get the micro together. So they've got some tanks incoming here. Cool for them. Try to take this position. I'm gonna get these beefy boys out of here. And get them in that building. So our good tanks are kind of keeping the enemy at bay, at range. See how they're doing with the damage. They are doing a pretty good job of keeping the enemy at bay. We also got an attack coming on the wings, but our infantry's over there. So what we're going to do is we're going to call in 2 more artillery so that we can have a salvo to take the other hotel. And we'll keep moving that way. Get our fighters moving. You guys can stay where you are. So we're just side-shotting the enemy here. We do need to set up our formation of infantry here and get them kind of in the forest or in the buildings so that they can fight and protect the wings. Maybe we can even suck some guys in. We are missing a lot of the combat, but I just wanted to set up the guys, and you can see our tanks just kind of duking it out with the enemy. He does have a large contingent of tanks coming, so we're gonna switch these guys and drop these guys back. And we're gonna launch our attack at the enemy. We're gonna launch a full salvo to kind of stop their advance here, because I believe they are preparing to attack. So our guys are aiming. Gotta tell them to back off the mark. They're doing a really good job of taking out the enemy units. So now our guys are in the building, and we are going to press the attack once we pop the enemy tanks. So we're gonna prioritize the tanks, the T-64s, and now we're going to. I don't know what they're. Oh, they lost the Baratino. No matters. We're still going to be able to defend this to the best of our ability. So here we go. There's our attack going forth. We're going to close the range with our fast-moving tanks. It's amazing. And we're going to tell our infantry to move forward. They are stunned, so popping the tanks is going to be easy because we're using Blitzkrieg. We do have an attack coming over here on the left, but the enemy's forces are light. We did lose one tank. It is what it is. But he did his job. So now the infantry is going to continue to close ranks. Now we do have some choppers here in the back trying to pop our units. We might lose a few units because we weren't paying attention, micro. But hey, it is what it is. So he doesn't even have the ability to take out this Patriot with the full salvo. So our tank component is all the way to the right. We're gonna have him. The enemy has been softened up, so we will continue to engulf this area. See, we haven't even had to really worry about this attack because the enemy hasn't been able to close ranks enough to get dealt with. Ooh, this is a problem. Micro on our part. We will put these guys in the building. Yeah, micro error. They're not even prepared to receive the enemy. That could have been a disaster. We will get our choppers to hunt them down. They did take out a Patriot, but it's okay. We're going to tell him to go that way. Now, the only problem I foresee now is gas. So we need to send a gas vehicle forward and kind of tell our tanks to get off the mark and come gas up. It could stop our advance a little bit, but it doesn't make sense because we won't have any gas to be able to move if we need to. The maneuver element can move there. If they have to move, we'll move them in position. But yeah, so everything is very well supported. We do see the enemy coming this way. We're trying to get off the mark on this point. So there's a couple micro errors that we did have. We'll continue to press the enemy with our, because it doesn't look like he has any heavy units. And if his destination is here, we'll have an ambush for him. Very nice. He's just there to kind of keep mitigated the make sure that the enemy doesn't continue to outflank us, if at all possible. So as our supplies do come in, our guys are off the mark at their rendezvous. Very nice. We have 400 points, but taking this will be effective for us. So what we're going to do is we will call up a command vehicle. Do we have a helicopter one? Yes, we do. So we'll call up that. And we'll keep these guys to protect it, air and ground units. That's what he's so good at. He's got rockets and he can fire at air and ground units. So it makes him good for kind of a sentry against all kinds of threats. Mobile. It looked like we lost Buck. I don't know how he took this point, but he did. So more power to the enemy. He's getting 4 points right on him. And while the command vehicle is coming, we will lose 4 points taking this to be able to press on Kilo and split the enemy's defense at Kilo and Gulf. We're going to hem him up here. So what we'll do is we will send a long range unit right here in case he starts running out of there, and some vehicle here and a recon to spot them when they come out of there. You spot them with them. So as you can see, I don't really have to micro the infantry too much unless he has a coordinated attack. It doesn't really. My guys do very good at holding their own. These are shock infantry, remember, and they had these rockets, so you're getting harassed by the choppers, but that's okay. Our aircraft are gonna do their job. Close arrow, very nice. These guys also very nice. So even though he's harassing us, he's getting his butt kicked because he's not effective. Very nice to the computer. You're gonna tell them to turn off their ammo and you just gas up because they got a lot of shells. They're gassed up, and now we're ready for an attack. We're gonna get our infantry to the gas waypoint, but we will launch an attack on the enemy now. We don't really know where the enemy is, so I want to go ahead and well, that's funny, another micro. So we got 2 command vehicles. So what we'll do is we control pretty much the side of the map. We'll send him. Wait, we'll send him here because we got a lot of guys here. We're not gonna go off this mark. Okay, cool. So we'll send them there. And my plan is to, once we take here, be able to split the enemy's forces at Kilo and Gulf, as well as be able to hem him up from any fast-moving travel, and keep helicopters as kind of sentry. I don't advise this, and yeah, if you're playing against players, but if we're playing against a computer showcasing the Japanese deck ability to move at speed and accomplish objectives, that is definitely here. Now, as you notice, it's lagging behind, which is okay. So look at this. So you see they're shooting their missiles. I'm gonna go ahead and deploy a smoke screen. So his tanks, they might hit, they might not, but he got hit and he still survived. So that's good. So I'm gonna deploy smoke screen for him. Alright, and kind of intercept these choppers. Command vehicle got caught slipping. Very nice. And so now we're gonna flood the enemy's back quarters with some cheap tanks to catch any enemy tanks or infantry slipping, and we'll protect them with some cheaper units. So we'll go dead charge at the enemy. We'll also suppress their backwards positions. I'm not sure if they have anything back there, but what I will say is it's a good, if you're advancing in good order, to just do it, because if they do have anything back there, they're gonna get popped and intercepted. We also will launch a couple. We'll launch him here. The enemy is harassing our units because he's out. So these guys are sitting ducks. Maybe he can pop him at range. Get out there, buddy. So here come the rockets and our actual ability to kind of fire forward what is of us, kind of stun it as our tanks move almost into it. We are moving forward and keeping the enemy kind of somewhat suppressed while our units scout forward. Very nice. We're going to send him here. We'll launch these guys here. And we continue to have our tanks move forward and advance. Very nice. Everyone supported, tanks forward, Recon right behind it, and the infantry could be right behind them if they wanted to be. We captured some some of these guys, so we'll pull them back and take the infantry forward to clear the forest. We can launch some more infantry if we want, so it doesn't have to be just them. I'll send some in the forest because they're good at forest. We will take the enemy's fob. So very good job on the part of the computer to launch repeated counterattacks at the buildings to showcase that we didn't have to stay at this fight, and they guys did their job very well in holding the enemy at bay. We did have them supported with the tanks, but all in all, it was very effective combat mission for us because we had our guys with a layered defense supported. And so do they have any rockets? Nope, they're out, and they have a whole bunch. So because having that volume is good. Also, these guys are supported too, so it's good. I might have probably could have took more support vehicles here. So now the enemy's effectively dealt with over there. We can neutral. We want the points here, so we will we'll put a command vehicle there, bump it, and we'll have our tanks scout the foresty area there. We do have infantry coming in to do that, so we don't need our tanks per se to do that. We'll use them for in case the enemy slipped anything past us here. Everything is kind of keeping the enemy in there. The computer surrenders. Outstanding. So 15 minutes of combat, 5,000 kills, 5,343, 321 losses at a 94% kill rate and 5% casualties. Very, very nice. Just everyone kind of doing their job effectively makes this smooth. So the maneuver kind of did a lot of work trying to get supporting our troops and getting them in position, holding infantry at bay, and knocking out this AA unit so that our bombers could come in and soften up the target, which they did, but they didn't hit anything. Very nice. These K2 did outstanding, knocking out tanks and infantry at will. Patriot J7, very nice maneuver combat. Even had a command vehicle, very nice to him. Getting in and getting tank rounds on target for supporting your infantry is what their job is. So we kind of showcase that with them, right? If you don't think you're gonna run into tanks, this is the best thing to do, a maneuver combat vehicle. Even the ninja got an aircraft, so good for him. The infantry got an aircraft, good for them. So they lost 3 aircraft to like random AA. K2 also outstanding work. K21, very nice. This is the infantry fighting vehicle, and it got a tank and a command vehicle. So good on him. So look at the Hudarin, the shock troops. They did good. Of course, this tank did good, locking up a ton of T-64s. These are 55, 53 point tanks against this. So yes, of course, you want him to win. Also, this is an 87 point tank. So we do have the better tank, but the fact that he can pop very good tanks at range, keep them at bay, is good. And he was able to pop a chopper. Interesting. Very nice. Must have popped him on the ground. We've got the other tanks, the ones that fire very well, doing their job. More tanks doing their job. Yeah, very nice, very nice, very nice, very nice. More tanks doing their job, very nice. We didn't take a lot of casualties, right? Look at this. I'm all T80Us, right? This is a tank combat. They did their job. Find the tank skill. Uh, yeah, these guys very nice. These guys were the guys who have the man pads, and look, they're taking out infantry, but the stars are here. The Hooterin. More tank action. This is an infantry troop carrier. So why am I showcasing this? Because their units trade pretty good, and the ones who have to put in the work, put in the work. Chumat, the long range ones, hitting a vehicle, taking an infantry vehicle, taking it. So they can't even get in a position to get close. Very nice. So if you beat the enemy to the punch, which they're good at, because they got rolled and hill vehicles, then you should be fine. Got a buck there, very nice. Yep. And what did we lose? So we lost Chumat, Patriot, because this helicopter got around us, and he was out of missiles here, so he should have been popping that. But we micro errored that too. So, guys, this is your boy Desert Fox saying thank you guys for joining me. If you like this video, please don't forget to share, like, comment, and subscribe. I do like interaction with you guys, so it'd be pretty cool. If you guys want to reach out, and if you have the Ash and Shadows mod, we can link up and do a game. So if there's nothing else, have a good day and goodbye.